Hello everyone and welcome to our Republic Day celebration. It is an honor to host this special session on behalf of Event Planning and Execution Committee, VIT Pune, as we celebrate the spirit of freedom, unity and progress that defines our great nation. Today, we are privileged to welcome a distinguished leader, Lieutenant General Balbir Singh Sandhu Sir, a decorated officer with nearly 4 decades of exemplary service in the Indian Army. He has held prestigious positions such as Director General of Supplies and Transport and Director General of Information Technology. For his outstanding service, he has been awarded with the Ati Vishishta Seva Medal and Vishishta Seva Medal. Beyond his military achievements, he is a scholar with a PhD in Peace, Security and Economic Development in Northeast India and a celebrated international polo player. His life exemplifies leadership, service and sportsmanship. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Lieutenant General Balbir Singh Sandhu sir. So sir, welcome to our today's special session. I hope you are doing great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to talk to young guys like you, and I look forward to a session together.
Thank you, sir. So, can we proceed with the question, sir?
Yeah.
So, sir, whenever we start a journey in our life, so what inspired you to join the Indian Army, and how did your formative years shape your leadership policy, sir?
See, to cut the whole story short, I was studying in a school called Sainik School, Kapurthala, which I joined with a view to join the armed forces. And at our school, the ultimate aim for anybody over there was to join National Defense Academy. You never looked at what service will you join, what rank will you get. But since our senior cadets, and since that school also trains you to join the armed forces, so the journey started from the school, no other aspiration but to join the National Defense Academy, and thereafter its history.
Okay. So, the Sainik School plays a crucial role in your decision to join the Indian Armed Forces, which,
Yeah.
right, sir. So, while we were reading your complete bio, sir, we came across two important domains or two important fields in which you work. That is the Rashtriya Rifles and the Assam Rifles. So, sir, how these two organizations or two these units play a crucial role in counter-insurgency, not only Northeast India but also in the complete India wherever it requires, sir.
So, you mean to say what is the strategy?
Yes, sir. Means how these units are helping our national
Okay.
security.
So basically, an insurgency comes into being due to failure of our state or because of external intervention. The job of administering any area is that of the political leadership and the administration. When that fails and there is absence of normalcy, the armed forces come into play. So the role of armed forces is to bring violence to a level under control that the civil administration can start functioning and the political activity can start. So armed forces are absolutely conscious of the fact that these are our own citizens. They are not the enemy. They have gone astray. They are misguided youth because of internal or external factors. So while you use minimum force, but you show firmness to get them on the right track. And the moment things come under reasonable control, the armed forces would like to peel off.
Okay, sir. Uh, Recently, we always there is one topic which always comes into news, that is the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, because as we see the Northeast in Manipur especially, there is always the government is removing the ASPA Act from some areas, but after reviewing with the state government is again taking into action that act. So how this ASPA Act is helping the armed forces to take down those insurgents or any other external actors or internal actors to save
So
our
let me, like I said earlier, policing and law and order is the job of the civil administration executed through the police to exercise control over law violators. Now, if you want the army to come into that role of helping the police restore order, the army is not empowered to do policing. Army primarily is against external aggression. So if you wanted to operate in the kind of policing duties interacting with the civil population, they need to be empowered, and that authorization from the Union of India comes to Armed Forces Special Power Act. Otherwise, you are not authorized to do a search. You are not authorized to arrest a guy who's creating trouble. So that's the purpose of Armed Forces Special Power Act. Now, why is there resentment to it? The army came into play because the civil police could not ensure prevalence of order. Now, when the army comes in, they have no local influences and they go by the book. And that's something which is resisted by the people who are violators and their supporters. So then they try to blackmail politically and otherwise the administration to repeal Armed Forces Special Power Act. And the implications of that are known to you, which you just highlighted.
Right, sir. uh, One of the important positions that as a former Director General of the Supplies and the Transport Department, you manage a logistics for over a 1.3 million strong army across diverse terrains like Siachen to the islands. So, sir, were the key challenges in ensuring the seamless supply chain operations and how were they addressed?
So the definition of logistics from the military point of view is to have the right goods at the right place at the right time, so that the troops do not have to look over their shoulders, and you can give no excuse. There is no room for failure in the case of military. So there are 4 5 principles. You do forethought and planning. You need to have flexibility if there's a redeployment of troops, right? And you have to ensure economy, but you cannot allow failure. So through these principles of forethought and planning, proper communication, estimation, procurement, movement, and distribution, you have to look ahead of the time and ensure that the troops' morale is maintained by the highest level of logistics. The two key factors that come into play is their food and fuel oil lubricants and heating and warming purposes, and second is medical care. So, in the armed forces, we firmly believe that the welfare of troops and the response to their any problems has to be of the highest order if you want them to follow you at the time of crisis. So, logistics is an essential part, and you have to use every tool possible to ensure that there is no failure or lack of quality logistic support.
Right, sir. Because if we want to fight any war, there must be a proper supply of goods and the weapons. Not only weapons, but also all the required essential commodities, so that our soldiers can fight without any fear. That yes, we are getting our supplies on the right time and at the right place. So, sir,
Absolutely.
with your vast experience in this defense logistics, how do you see the future of supply chain management evolving in the Indian Armed Forces, particularly in the context of technological advancements, sir?
See, earlier, when you talked of supply chain management and logistics, it was a lot about movement, right? Today, it is about not only movement, it is about use of technology right from the process of procurement. Earlier, you had a printed tender, now you need online tendering. Earlier, there was a lot of opaqueness, now you have transparency where everybody can see everything. Then, enhanced competition brings in economy. And then, not only are people ready to receive a thing, they want to know where is my item now. So, use of technology transparency and accountability are the key features how the future of logistics is going to unfold. And the difference between the military logistics and the corporate logistics is the military logistics has to work on the principle of just in case.
Hmm.
Whereas in the case of corporate and commercial laws, it is just in time. Economy over there is important. In the case of military, assurance level is important. You may be sometimes compromising economy, but there is no, like I earlier said, there is no room for dilution of quality or time in terms of time or any failure of logistics.
Right, sir. So earlier it was a traditional approach which we are following in the past, not right now. So right now, with the use of like the RFID technology, the current tracking of our goods, that from just by
Absolutely.
checking the ticket number. So
Yeah.
yeah, with the evolving technology, we are progressing a lot, and it's saving and bringing transparency, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, one more important portfolio was the Director General of Information Technology, sir, in your career. So, as a national security advisor, Ajit Doval and all the other experts in the world are saying that it is a sixth generation warfare or the information warfare, which with which we are currently playing in this global arena. So, sir, drawing from your experience as a DGIT, how as a nation we must safeguard our national security, because the external actors, the internal actors, and all the people who are against or trying to hamper the progress of our nation. So, how we can fight against in this digital arena?
So, you know, the future wars might not have as much kinetic content
Hmm.
as it used to be in the past. There might not be clear cut borders where you are firing at each other, men getting killed. Maybe use of technology can disable some of your systems and adverse. See, war is a national effort, right? And no longer it is front line and then the middle line and then the rear line. You may be hit right in the core of your existence as a nation. Imagine, I think Microsoft had some disruption and the airline's reservation was held up for a few hours. It created chaos. Just imagine if the rail reservation and the air reservation system goes for a 6, or your power grid is adversely affected by electronic and other interference. How much damage to the economy, to the citizens, and to the existence of law and order, it can pray merry hell. So there is a kind of concept of simultaneity. There might be troops fighting in front, and there might be such interference which is going on behind. Electronic sabotage, I would call that, right? Or cyber warfare, as we call it. So I feel two important factors which come into play is economy and technology.
Right.
You need to have a very robust economic capability and which is guarded with technology, and the military will fight very well then.
Right, sir. So, sir, as you mentioned, the electronic warfare or the sabotaging, one of the clear examples which I am able to recall at this moment is the Israel sabotage the mobile or the tracker pads of the Hezbollah.
Absolutely. That's, I think, the
So,
most recent example,
so
right?
it was a
And many
complete
more.
chaos in the West Asia, due to
Yeah.
which we are also getting shocked that how this was achieved. So, sir, moving forward, you also served as an instructor at prestigious institutes like the NDA, DSSC. What leadership qualities do you believe young officers must cultivate for the modern military challenges, sir?
See, when you are young, there's a different requirement of leadership. Firstly, there is a need to be having leadership qualities right at the beginning and at every level. But my way of thinking, a young person needs just two things. One is he has to be hardworking to become professionally competent, build capabilities. And secondly, is to be passionate about your job to build those capabilities. And rest will fall in place. You will have enough guidance, enough leadership, higher leadership, which will put you in place. All that you have to bother about is काबिल बनो, सारे काम अपना काम जानो, उससे ज़्यादा जानो, be good in your academics, be good in your outdoors, be good in your sports, be motivated to be enjoying your job, be passionate about your job, and you will find that's the best leadership lesson that you have.
Right, sir. Professionalism, honesty, and dedication to the job or the profile with which you are working is one of, as you mentioned, are the most important qualities which young generation or the young officers must follow, so that it will be helpful not only for them but also for the nation, sir. So, sir,
Actually,
recently,
everybody, let me just intervene. Every one of us, from a school child to a young officer, knows what to do. It is about being able to do it and execute it, to have that determination and passion and motivation to do it. It's about doing things, and everyone knows what is good. Okay, so that's what I would advocate for a young person. Be a doer.
right, sir. Yes, sir. So, sir, recently there has been significant discourse around the India that India is developing its own national security doctrine, just like Japan or the USA is developing a written national security doctrine. So, how this national security doctrine will help our nation to safeguard our national interest as well as the national security, sir?
So every country has its own national security requirements, right? In the case of India, is a very, very interesting and a diverse country. We are lying in the amidst two nuclear neighbors with with whom we have unsettled borders. We live in South Asia, which has extremely volatile neighborhood. You saw Bangladesh recently, you see Nepal earlier, but for Bhutan, there's a lot of instability around. So India needs to have a clear-cut identification of what will be our core national interests. And it is not only military. It is about the welfare of the citizens, the existence of your country, your core values as a country. And I think all that I wish to say is that we have to be realistic and forward-looking as to what should we set as our goals for in the national security doctrine than to hang on to only history.
Right, sir. Um, the last 1 to 1.5 years, the world was like a complete chaos up in the neighborhood, not only the neighborhood, but in the extended neighborhood, that is in the West Asia, the Israel Hamas, in the Europe, the Russia Ukraine. Also, there has been some activities going in the South China Sea between the Philippines and the Chinese. So, looking at all these events which are happening around our extended neighborhoods or in the far away, what lessons we as a nation can drive from these events that are happening around the world?
So I think the first thing what I've seen in the past is we tend to at times, and it's happening in many countries, not us only, we tend to become very concerned about what is happening in the world. It is
Right.
important that you develop yourself in a manner both economically and followed by militarily and in all spheres, whether it is the food security, power security, everything, and your economic growth. खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से ये पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है. So once you become a strong country, all neighbors, all global players will start looking at you for guidance and for your role. So, world is going to become more and more chaotic in times to come. Uh, People are becoming more and more inward looking and selfish and right of the center. So, globalization is being challenged. So, I would say for India to have a global role, you need to become economically very, very strong. Sooner, the better. And that has to be supported by a very vibrant population who is at ease with itself and who have a, a kind of synergetic effect to project and protect the national interests.
Right, sir. The economic growth as well as the indigenization of the goods which we are producing, so that our dependency on the other countries will get reduced, will definitely help to growth not only rapidly but in a stable manner, so that it will be easy for us to overcome all those happenings around the world. Right, sir. So, sir, few years back or currently in the news, there is also one more topic related to the armed forces, that is the theaterization or the command theaters in the Indian armed forces. That is by bringing all the three departments of the armed services together in different posts, just like the theater commands in the US and the People's Liberation Army in the China. So, if so, what key reforms or how this theaterization will help our armed forces in a synergistic manner?
So, what happens is uh, armed forces, at least Indian armed forces, and so are the other developed countries' armed forces, they evolve over a period of time. One of the issues that you do is because imagine the expenditure on maintaining the defense forces is at the cost of development. It is the kind of premium you pay for your national security. So it is important that as you grow, you evolve and economize and cut your uh, bring in a better tooth to tail ratio, cut out the flap. So all these reforms that are being spoken of in the armed forces are to enhance combat effectiveness at the most economical in a most economical manner and improve your tooth to tail ratio. So we cannot pick up a model from China or from America. Indian theaterization has to be tailor made for India and the security environment and the resources as they exist in India. So that is why India, as I understand as a veteran, there's a lot of deliberation going on it, and you cannot just order top to bottom or bottom up and then see shortfalls. So they are moving in the correct path in a very deliberate manner, and the obvious advantages will accrue, and then only will the theaterization will be adopted in the shape or size or maybe partial theaterization. You have the pluses and minuses which are being weighed, and I'm sure we'll move in the right direction.
Right, sir. But custom tailorized Indian theatre command as per the current available resources and as per the current challenging areas is the solution with proper consulting manner, so that proper theatre command will be established in the upcoming times. So, sir, yeah, right, sir. So, sir, based on your strategic expertise, what role India can play? Because India is seen as a Vishwaguru in the not only in South Asia but also in the entire world. So, sir, how India can play a key role in peacekeeping and conflict resolution in the areas and the regions like Indo-Pacific and in the West Asian countries? Because India is seen as a is having good relations with both the Arab and the Israelis. So, how we can leverage that position, sir?
See, basically, all conflict resolution and peacekeeping, India strictly follows the global norms and laws, and would like to operate under the authorization or empowerment given by the United Nations and such other global organizations. However, in the case of India in Indo-Pacific, there are there's an organization called Quad, which comprises of America, Australia, Japan, and India. Because with the rise of China and their unilateral behavior, which has been observed over the last few decades, there is a need for people to voice concern, to follow uh, rules or to establish a rule-based order so as to protect especially these smaller countries or give the smaller countries the right to exist and have their territorial integrity maintained. So India is part of the Quad. India is part of all global organizations which believe in rule-based order, and towards that we are already contributing in a very, very constructive manner. And all these are, as of now, very, very positive, constructive, peaceful organizations.
Right, sir. Uh, Sir, as we discussed in the intro part that you're having a doctoral research focus on the peace, security, economic development of the Northeast India. So, with reference to BIMSTEC, what were the most significant findings and how they can contribute to the policy making in the Northeast Indian region?
See, Northeast geographically, if you see, is connected to the rest of India through just 23 kilometers of Siliguri corridor, if you ever see the map.
Right, sir.
And it has more than 6,000, around 7,000 kilometers of border with the neighboring countries, which include Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, uh,
Myanmar.
China, right, and Myanmar, right. So that this, in fact, partition of India, which made East Pakistan, which later on is the current Bangladesh, disconnected the northeast or isolated the northeast in a very big way, especially when East Pakistan was hostile to us, right? If you travel from Kolkata to uh, Tripura, Agartala, it is about 500-600 kilometers via Bangladesh. But otherwise, if you come via Siliguri, it is some 1,300-1,500 kilometers, almost three times. So, which has resulted in isolation. Now, that went down to economic deprivation. And isolation, economic depression, lack of infrastructure led to insurgencies. And then our adversaries being there, China and East Pakistan that time. So insurgencies, further, it's a cycle. Violence, lack of economic development, extortion, and, it's a rearward cycle. So my finding primarily was that in case, if you see, the Prime Minister has often spoken to use Northeast as a launch pad for India's Act East policy. Now, if you want to use Northeast as a launch pad, one biggest impediment is Myanmar. Myanmar is absolutely backward. It connects to the next rest of Southeast Asia, the ASEAN and others via Myanmar, right? And if you want land route to become economical, people to people contact, so first thing is we have to make Northeast peaceful. We have to develop top class infrastructure in the Northeast. We have to make Northeast as a manufacturing hub. Since we have more connect with the outside world from there, we have to have economic cooperation with them for this to. So to that extent, establishing good infrastructure, law and order, and manufacturing the Northeast is a prerequisite. Establishment, some semblance of an order in Myanmar can only allow you to connect with the ASEAN. And third is, for India's Northeast, which is currently landlocked, the only access to sea is through Bangladesh and Myanmar.
Right.
You have to get those functional so that you can have trade with the rest of the world. So these are the key findings.
Right, sir. The geography, that is, as you mentioned, the Siliguri is one of the most choke points which we can see. So finding proper diversifying the routes so that we can connect properly, so that the goods, as you mentioned, so the creating a launch pad to connect with the rest of the Asian countries, that is in the Southeast Asia. Yeah, sir, you are right. Through economic.
So there is no alternate route. There is no alternate route except uh, through Bangladesh,
Bangladesh, right, sir.
land route, right?
Right,
So
sir.
hence the relations with Bangladesh are extremely important. The current government, till this turmoil happened in Bangladesh, was taking a lot of steps to have rail line and other connected. They were also taking a lot of steps to use the ports of Bangladesh to maintain the supply chain for Northeast.
Right, sir.
So let's see how it goes.
Yes, sir. Uh, one more achievement or one more service that you are doing to the nation, that is as a TEDx speaker and a thought leader. What is the core message that you deliver during your motivational talks, and how do you inspire, sir, the young minds across the diverse professional backgrounds, sir?
Uh, so my TEDx talk was on soldiering, sports, and leadership. So I said, play life like a game where a foul is a foul and a goal is a goal, which signifies fair play, right? And sports teach you a lot of things on how you should work, starting from hard work, stamina, discipline, perseverance, teamwork, right?
Right,
So if we treat life like a game, for sure, young can easily identify and follow the rest that accompanies.
right, sir. So sports plays a crucial role not only in the physical development but also in the mental game in order to tackle all the challenges that we are facing in our life. So, sir,
Absolutely.
as a former vice president of the Indian Polo Association and also as a player, how do you believe the sports like polo contribute to the leadership development and the decision making under pressure, sir?
See, it's an expensive sport. It needs a lot of infrastructure. But if you see all the academies of the armies world over, and even the police academy in Hyderabad, the IS academy in Missouri, they all make sure that you have horse riding as a subject. Why? Because this is the only time when you are by yourself dealing with another living being. You learn coexistence, you learn how to use your carrot and stick policy, reward and punishment. Polo as a sport is an extremely fast moving sport where split second decisions, high enjoyment of risk, and utmost skills like riding, horse riding is just a given. You got to lean out, you got to turn, and you got to be playing by the rules. Otherwise, a very very terrible accident, right?
Right,
So I feel actually uh, it is one sport which really epitomizes leadership. And it's not that the leadership cannot come if you don't play this sport, but if you do play polo, you learn more leadership skills and qualities and traits than just the thought of playing.
right, sir. It's one of the most challenging sports which we see on the planet, because not only horse riding but you also have to coordinate with other team members, and not only that you have to properly strike the right balance not only physically but also mentally, because it's a right like a in the middle of the war, because not only our team but also coordinating and looking what the other contemporaries are doing.
Yes.
uh, Sir, moving to the last segment or the last question of today's interview. On this special occasion of Republic Day, what message you would like to give to convey all the students and the viewers across the nation, inspiring them to contribute positively towards the nation's growth and uphold the values of unity, integrity, and service?
So, see, students in any organization are a mixed lot. Somebody is doing academically good, somebody is good in sports, some are doing good in just trying to learn more. One, I would say is uh, this is a place to learn from your environment, from your colleagues, and from your teachers, and your own evolution. Life is very long. As long as you stay committed to working hard, developing your skills, having faith and in the system, confidence in your own self, and passion about what you do, you will go places. You might take time, and never uh, force fit yourself as a leader or as a tail ender. These things change as you grow. Those who are committed will gain success. Have faith in yourself and the system.
Right, sir. So, sir, Uh, as we have completed all the questions in the given time frame, I would, on behalf of the Event Planning and Execution Committee, VIT Pune, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to for joining us today and sharing your profound insights and experiences in not only in the Indian Armed Forces but also in the domain of sports. So, sir, your words have truly ignited a sense of pride and responsibility, reminding us of the values of courage, resilience, and service that continue to shape our nation. On this special occasion of Republic Day, your presence has made this event even more memorable, and we are deeply honored to have had the privilege of hearing from you. Thank you once again, sir, for inspiring us all. Wish you a continued success and good health. Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind, and thank you very much for calling me on your show. I'm absolutely impressed with the way you organize yourself and very well prepared questions, very thoughtfully curated questions. And I wish you and your institution and all your staff and students and parents wish you all a very happy Republic Day, a very happy New Year, and may God bring you all a lot of success and happiness. Jai Hind and thank you.
Jai Hind, sir. Thank you, sir.